Hey everybody, I shared with you the other day a tag that I decided to use for my mom's Christmas present this year, and then unfortunately I realized, hey, I have a lot of other family members, so I'm going to have to make tags for them too. So today we're going to make a tag for Dad, and I'm using the grunge letters. And I had two swirl grunge letters and one plain. And so what I did is I ran all three of them through a swirl texture fade, and now they're all swirly in the exact same way and they look awesome. And I'm taking the aged mahogany distress ink and I'm going to use it to color my grunge board letters red, and I'm going to really soak them. I want the whole thing to be red, and it'll be a darker red in some places because of the texture, but I'm mostly going for a uniform appearance. So now I have all three of my letters colored, and I'm going to spray them with Candy Apple Red Glimmer Mist. And the reason I chose it is because it had a red base and a gold shimmer. Mostly I wanted a gold shimmer, and I wanted to intensify the red. So any red glimmer mist with a gold base would have worked just fine for this. Next, I'm taking a piece of music sheet paper, and this is actually to Gloria, which I thought worked really well for a background of a Christmas tag. And I'm going to cover the whole thing with distress ink and shabby shutters. And then so I can get a better idea of where the edges are going to be, I'm actually going to just place a tag over it and then trim around it roughly with my scissors. So I have the piece of paper basically the same size as the tag. So now that I know what that's going to look like, I'm going to go in with my peeled paint, and I'm going to hit the edges in a few places with the peeled paint. And after I've hit the edges with the peeled paint, I'm going to go in with the crushed olive and do the same. So I'm not being too perfect with the peeled paint. I'm just here, there. Some places I'm going deeper into the tag than others. Some places I'm barely hitting the edge. And now here's the crushed olive, which you can see my sponge is pretty clean, which is a good sign that I don't use this color very often. But now I'm going to hit some other areas, layering it over both the shabby shutters and the peeled paint. And my paper is getting wrinkly in a couple places. I don't really care, you know. That just adds to the look. Alright, so now I have all my three greens blended together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the whole thing with iridescent gold glimmer mist. And I'm just going to let it sit on the tag. And what that'll do is it'll hydrate the inks and cause them to kind of pool together and blend it out even more. And then once it's dry, I'm going to take gel medium and use it to stick the music sheet paper to my tag. And this is just a plain Staples brand number 8 shipping tag, which is 3 1/8 by 6 1/4. And I'm adding gel medium to the tag and to the back of the music sheet paper. And then I'm going to stick them together, and I'm just going to line them up and slide it around until I've got the music sheet paper completely covering the tag. And then I'm just going to flatten out with my hand. You could also use a brayer. And then any areas that don't stick very well, what I'll do is I'll go peel them back up, add more gel medium to the tag and the paper, and then go from there. And then once the whole thing is totally stuck down, I'm going to go over the top with the gel medium one more time just to kind of seal it all together. And now I'm running the tag through my distresser, and I'm doing it several times to get the edges really rough. Some areas are completely have torn chunks out of them, and that's exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to highlight the distressed edges with the Vintage Photo Distress ink, and that's just going to pick up the torn bits and all the different textures from the distresser. You can see here how you can really see how ragged the edges are now. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to add a bunch of rub-ons, and I used Old Daisy D rub-ons of a holly branch and snowflakes, and you can see them there on the page. Unfortunately, my camera was having a hissy fit while I was working on this part of it, so that video didn't record properly. But I basically just added right to the background black and white holly leaf and snowflakes, and now I'm adding pearls to the center of the snowflakes, and then I tied a piece of twine around it as well, and I just showed you a close-up of what everything looks like. And now I'm taking a Wish adage ticket and I'm covering it with crushed olive, and I'm putting the crushed olive heavy on the edges and then just lightly in the center. And then I'm going to go around the edges again with the vintage photo, and I'll hit the edges with vintage photo. I'm going to try not to get inside the red line on the ticket. And then I'm going to spray the whole thing with the iridescent gold glimmer mist. And again, that just helps blend everything together. And this time, instead of letting it dry, I will dab it off. And then that'll just take off some of the excess moisture and some of the excess ink as well. So I'm just dabbing it off there. And so that's what it looks like now. And I'm going to let that dry as well. And now that it's dry, I'm just going to weave it into the twine so it looks like the twine is what's holding it to the tag. And I'm being careful not to completely cover my hole there. And now I'm going to take pop dots, and I'm actually going to, well, I'm going to try to peel the backs off of them so that they're sticky on both sides. And then I'm going to completely fail and try again by peeling the back off while it's still stuck to the sheet, and then picking it up with my quick stick and adding it behind the tag. So that worked a lot better. So if you're doing this and you're not so good at removing pop dot backs, this is one way to kind of get around that. And then that will pretty much finish off the tag, except for how I'm going to tie it to the package. I'm going to tie it to the package with Twinery Twine in Maraschino. And I'm just going to loop that through the hole in my tag. And then I'm going to glue down a little brown ribbon at the top of the twine or on the side of the tag. And I actually I had to really struggle to get this ribbon made because I had just a tiny little piece of fabric. So I didn't show you that because it was really embarrassing how even with a Bow Easy, I could not make a bow. And here's the tag, the finished tag, and I'm really happy with it. I liked how it stayed pretty masculine. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy it.